We eat 3 huge meals a day, starting with muesli and high-calorie shakes, usually pasta for lunch and dinner, and a constant snacking of gorp and chocolate. A Snickers bar is among a hiker's most guarded possessions. So here's the tomato lettuce. They're about 4 or 5 months old, and we started off using a lot of these on the trip. Drop them in there, takes a minute or two. Put in the mashed potatoes. Delicious.
But we've been in the woods all day, and we pop out and nice clearing here full of huckleberries. Huckleberry heaven. This is how the bears pick them. Sit there all day.
In the middle of Oregon, we start walking with Mike, Leslie, Kathy and Randy. All 4 have already walked the 2,200-mile Appalachian Trail on the east coast of the United States.
It isn't all, sunshine and birds singing and flowers. It's not all glorious. No.
Pain is only temporary.
A long-distance hiker has to be strong, both physically and mentally.
Rub it.
I slipped off the trail.
It's not just a vacation. That's what everyone at home thinks it is. We're on vacation. It must be nice for 5 months to be on vacation, but it's not. It's really a physical and mental challenge.
If you have total mental strength and you know that this is what you want to do, anybody can do it. On the Appalachian Trail, Bill Irwin was a blind man who hiked the trail. And all the time when we were hiking that trail and we had a bad day, we'd say, Bill Irwin did this, and he was blind.
This trail is probably 80% mental and 20% physical. And that sounds, well, you're hiking those miles, that's true. But to get up and do it every day and say, I have to, I want to hike today, because I do want to hike. It's not that I have to. I can quit anytime. And I think quitting would be really easy. Anytime when you're really feeling bad, just go to a road and say, I'm going home.
And some people do.
Yeah, and to know, we've had, I think between the two of us, we've had probably about 60 blisters.
I'm wearing this tape because I strained my Achilles.
Drugs and bandages go a long way to alleviate the stress of physical injury.
Only the thing that this is actually only gauze, because they didn't have it
But when the pain creeps from your feet to your head, the commitment of a long-distance hiker is truly challenged.
Middle toe here.
You're almost floating. You kind of go beyond pain in the last 2 hours, 6 or 7 miles. You're just... Every day I wanted to quit. In a certain aspect, I just was asking myself, why am I doing this? It's just something that you have to learn to endure. The human body's not made to walk 2,650 miles without stopping. A little advice: if you can't bear pain, then this trip is definitely not for you. You just kind of learn to deal with things and enjoy everything else in between.
No one experienced the misery of stress injuries more than Dale and Sean. Approaching the Oregon-Washington border, Dale's feet are getting worse. A strained Achilles tendon and a painful swelling at the base of his feet were causing him great discomfort.
It's swollen. It doesn't want to go down. I can't stretch out. I can't really get a lot of push out of this foot right now. So it's just kind of plodding along, one step at a time.
It's all swollen up in here. You can see where it's all calloused up from pounding. There's
a lot of thinking you can do out here when you're left by yourself for this long. And walking, for some reason, seems to be particularly conducive to thinking. You get in a trance and you just think about your childhood and the future, and it's amazing. I feel like it's almost like my life it's like half time, and I'm reviewing everything that's happened to me. It's very unusual. I remember things that happened in my childhood that I just don't think I ever would have remembered in the city. There's too many distractions.
Things right up from my childhood through, my teens to right now. Just all these little bubbles of thought just pop into your head and float in and float out.
You hike by yourself all day long, so you pretty much talk to yourself all day long, which means you get to know yourself pretty good. And you find things that you don't like about yourself, and you realize that, but there's things that you find out about yourself that you didn't know that you had.
The rhythm of the city beats faster than our senses. A mind free of distraction is allowed to explore areas of consciousness unreachable in cities. Far from the media machine and the mundane complications that dominate our lives, politics and commerce seem irrelevant and trivial.
Being out here for an extended period of time, 4.5 months, sleeping on the ground under the stars, definitely, I guess, helps you look at the less serious side of life. And it definitely fills a void of being away from all the noise and all the things you think you have to do back home. The constant go, 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 go. I have to do this, I have to do that.
Well, it's been raining for the last couple days, and as you can see, we're totally soaked. Our sleeping bags are soaked, our tents are soaked. So we did the mileage that we needed to do today, and we're stopping fairly early so that we can build as big a fire as possible to keep under control, so we can dry all of our clothing and our sleeping bags so we can get a good night's sleep. We're pretty high up in elevation, so it could get really cold tonight, so the people with the cold bags could freeze their butts off all night and have a miserable day tomorrow.
So you guys are soaked, like really soaked your bag?
Completely soaked.
You don't see them as like a lawyer or a doctor or someone with an expensive car. You see them as another hiker who's got the same goal as you, who's got the same idea of what life should be like, I guess, because most people out here, it seems like, are trying to find something, happiness or I don't know. There kind of seems like people out here are kind of searching for something, whether they know what it is or not.
You don't need a lot of things in life to enjoy life. I mean, all of us that were hiking out here, we lived out of our backpacks, which was a sleeping bag and food and whatever it was to take to get through the day. Yet I've never been more so happy in my life. So I think it filled that void where it got me away from the materialistic things of life, of having this and having that, and getting away from dependency on materialistic things was definitely just mind-boggling.
Leaving the city for the wilderness feels like a return to something familiar. This is what we've been missing.
So many people are really feel like they're missing something, but they're not aware of what it was. And I think for me, it was the connection with nature and with anything besides a city. We grew up in Detroit city life, and it was like it seems so empty sometimes, even though it's so full of people and activity. We always say that the worst day on the trail is better than the best day in an office, And after the Appalachian Trail, I went back to my office job at Century 21, and for almost 2 weeks I was getting bloody noses all the time because the office air was just dry and it was just stale. No windows, I could never look outside, and it just killed me.
You are in the weather when the weather's happening. You don't run we don't have shelters out here, so you're part of the rain, you're part of the wind.
You're not watching it go by, you're actually part of it. And being a part of something is definitely just incredible feeling. A lot of times I thought I was a savage out here, not a normal human being. There's just so many capabilities, like with the human body and the human mind, that I'm just not in touch with. And becoming in touch with things that are foreign it's a scary thing, but it's a good thing at the same time.
The Columbia Gorge separates the states of Oregon and Washington.
Well, so we got 507 miles left. We're almost 4 months on the road. feeling good into Washington. It sounds like it's going to be a brilliant state. You know, everything's getting a lot lusher and greener as we go north, so kind of looking forward to seeing some more, you know, big green rolling hilly mountains and things, which I imagine it's going to be like. But feeling great. We're excited about getting to the border in 25 days.
It also marks the start of the infamous Section H, a 104-mile section that starts at sea level and climbs all the way to 7,000 feet.
And we have to walk 11 miles uphill starting here. See the elevation chart, it's 3,000 feet. But ultimately in 130 miles we're going to be going all the way up to 7,000.
When you're training for another sport, you have like rest time, you have time to recoup. If you get injured, you're more likely to take time off. And out here, it's like you've got only a certain window. You've got to get where you're trying to get, and you've only got so much time.
Most people that play sports and have desire to win usually come out on top of other people that aren't quite as competitive. I'm a very competitive person, and that really helped out here.
And for me, pretty competitive.
Fireboy, with his sandals and his tiny backpack, is one of the fastest hikers on the PCT.
It's more mental than most endurance sports because it's over a longer period of time, you know. Like the finish isn't just ahead, it's not within a week or two, it's months, you know. So you really have to pace yourself, and you peak out to a certain point, and then your body just starts wearing down, you know. You have to really watch what you're doing because you can burn out. And if you burn out here, man, it's gonna really suck because you've come so far, you know.
If you stop and give up, I mean, it would haunt me for the rest of my life. If I had to get off the trail, I'd have to start all over again.
This whole set of bones, for the most part, is just probably bruised, but they've been hurting me pretty bad the last week or so. I've been having problems with them for the last 1,000 miles or so, but for some reason they really decided to pound on me the last couple days, and just the last 10 miles of the day are pretty hellish, but it doesn't help with walking through clear cuts. Most of the time if it's pretty out, I can forget about my feet, but not today, unfortunately.
Well, got some interesting new perspectives today on hiking. New boots.
In a last-ditch effort to put more rubber between his swollen feet and the trail, Dale invested in a new pair of boots. His boots had the opposite effect. Bad stitching tore his toes to pieces.
Problem's right here where my shoe folds. Right there.
And when the US mail lost his old tennis shoes, Dale was reaching his breaking point.
Well, my toe on my left foot is really giving me hell right now. And I just can't take this boot any longer. I'm so furious at the post office right now that I can't cut a $50 pair of tennis shoes up, and yet I gotta do this. Because they couldn't goddamn get a priority mail package. I'm gonna send those guys a letter, man. They're gonna pay for these boots. I got another blister over on this tongue. I should really cut this one to pieces as well, man. Why not? God, that feels good.
Some people say the Washington Cascade mountain range surpasses the Sierras in magnificence and beauty. By the middle of September, ocean winds are condensing in the cold air, producing rain and fog and restricting our views. 4 months ago, leaving the Mexican border, I never dreamt we could have made it this far. It still seemed too good to be true.
We're about 190 miles, I think, from the Canadian border. We're on our way to Skykomish to get something to eat. we're starving. It's been raining now for about 3 days or something. We're all pretty wet and miserable, but this is really beautiful countryside, what we can see of it, Pacific Northwest.
We were racing north now with a greater sense of urgency. The days were getting shorter and temperatures were plummeting.
So we're 2 days, or 2.5 days from Hankin, which is our last stop, Yahoo. Can't wait. And we've basically been in rain like this for, a week now or so, apart from one fine day. And it's kind of miserable, but hey, we're this close.
We were heading right into the first major storm of the season. The Pacific Northwest is no place to be caught without the protection of man-made fibres. Dale had mailed his fleece ahead to the next post office.
We're looking at camping for the day. We just came down and from up high, and it was really cold, super cold. And as you can see, it's pouring with rain, and guys are getting... The Gore-Tex doesn't help at this point. It's just going right through. We're soaking wet. So we're going to camp early and try and make a fire and dry some stuff out and warm up a little bit.
Dale never did warm up. A few hours later, it was snowing. Foot injury and hypothermia are more than a mind can handle. Dale had finally reached breakpoint. He planned an elaborate escape route off the mountain and hitched back to Seattle. He was 62 miles from Canada.
I seem to have lost Dale somewhere along the way, which is too bad. I'm not quite sure how things happened, but he got a stress fracture in his Achilles heel, and he was pretty cold. It was raining a lot, so I think that was the last straw, and he quit, which is too bad. I would have liked to have crossed the border with him. We've been through a lot of stuff together,
Here's the box. 6 months later. Everything is still intact. No mice got to it. Toilet paper's a bit squashed. Ooh, a cigar. We put cigars in here for our last section.
Please help me reach way and back and get my wisdom tooth.
Section L, only 62 miles to Canada. We were in a great mood.
If you can't have happy teeth, how can you be happy? What, you got a camcorder?
Yeah.
Did you carry that all the way with you?
Sure did, Batch.
Wow, boy, that's heavy.
We finally catch Calvin Batchelder, a legendary 75-year-old thru hiker on his third attempt. Batch had flown 81 bombing raids in World War II as a turret gunner and radio operator. We found him plodding along the last few miles of the Pacific Crest Trail.
I know I got two brothers, or half brothers, about as fat as you can get. And sit around and watch television all the time, drink beer and liquor and smoke. I feel so sorry for them. I don't want to go to their funeral. They're a lot younger than I am.
The weather was glorious for our last 2 days. Not even a forest fire could stop us now.
We're about 3 miles from the Canadian border. September 24th. We're probably going to be 5 hours ahead of schedule. We're supposed to finish in 4.5 months. And this is 4.5 months, but 5 hours to spare. So I just can't believe I've made it this far. We've all made it this far. It's kind of a strange feeling, actually. How are you supposed to feel after walking the entire length of the United States, But still, it's very exciting. Very exciting indeed.
Still can't comprehend walking that far, even though I did it.
Hello, Bruce.
I've been waiting a very long time to drink this.
Well done, brother.
there was the end, you know. It wasn't band waiting for us. Talk to me in about 2 weeks when I'm waiting tables and making pizzas and paying bills, and then I'll tell you what it feels like to finish.
This is it?
Gee, I can't believe it. Wow.
Congratulations, Batch.
Thank you. Congratulations to you guys, too. Gee, I can't believe it.
Crossing into Canada was, of course, an anticlimax. We ate our final meal together, tried to write something profound in the logbook, posed for photographs, and lifted our packs for the last time. We hurried the last 7 miles of civilization. Showers, beds, and cotton clothes were calling us. A few months later, I had moved south to Los Angeles, a county with a population of almost 10 million people.
So there's no way out of the traffic heading eastbound. 215 north.
Returning to the city, I was struck by how much emphasis we put on goals that lead to material reward.
If I eat too fast, it almost feels like it gets stuck.
And distract us from a search for meaning and purpose. For me, the Pacific Crest Trail was just that, a continuous path leading to a better understanding of self, purpose, nature, and its forces that control our world. An estimated 131 people attempted the PCT in 1997. 65 completed the whole journey. Among them were Mike Dennis, Leslie Clapp, Kathy Gaiman, Brandy Ardemath, and Jim Everett.